Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be here with all of you this morning. Before I tell you a little bit about Array of Engineers, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and my background, and then why we formed Array of Engineers in the first place. So who am I? My name is Stacy Paul, and I like to think of myself as a thoughtful leader, an entrepreneur, a teacher, a promoter of innovation and STEM, an aerospace engineer, and the CEO of Array of Engineers. So I'm originally from a really small town in northern Michigan called Johannesburg. It's not Johannesburg, Africa, it's Johannesburg, Michigan. It's near Gaylord, if some of you are familiar with that area. It's a really small town that there's just a blinking light. If you drive through and blink yourself, you'll drive right past it. I grew up on a potato farm that my grandparents started in the 1940s. Growing up there, I was surrounded by the most innovative and hardworking people I have ever met. They were self-taught, they loved what they did, they were very supportive of their community, their employees, and each other. They embraced opportunities, and they were not afraid to take very calculated risks. Being surrounded by these traits have allowed me to become the person that I am today. So, like I said, I'm from northern Michigan, and since a very young age, I had a dream that I wanted to work at NASA. So, after high school, I went to a school called Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, which is located in Florida. The reason I went there is because I wanted to be close to the Cape. And the Cape at KSC is where they launch rockets, for those of you who don't know. And they would launch the shuttle at that time also. So it was a great place to go to college. We would be able to walk to class, we'd look up, and we would see a rocket launch. For days that there were going to be a shuttle launch, you could drive out to the beach, and you could see the shuttle launch, then you could feel it in your chest. I still feel goosebumps when I think about being there and seeing that. For a space nerd, it's a fabulous place to be. I studied aerospace engineering there. After college, I got a job at NASA's JSC, Johnson Space Center, which is located in Houston, Texas, and I worked with the manned spaceflight program. So I worked in a group called Day of Launch, which we supported launch activities in the mission control area. So Houston has the mission control, and Florida is where they would launch the rocket. So there would be a whole team of people. It was definitely not a one-person place at all. So we would be sitting in Houston, they would launch weather balloons in Florida. We would collect the weather data, analyze it, and determine if we were going to change the trajectory of the space shuttle for it to get to the spot in the sky, or if it was going to be a go or no-go launch. Let me tell you, there were hundreds of people that helped make this decision to be successful every time that there was a launch. I really, really loved what I did at this time, and the excitement and energy of a launch was truly an amazing experience and something great to be a part of. I really learned what it meant to be a part of a team at that time. But I must say, I missed Michigan so much when I was there, and I think I knew deep down that I always wanted to move back here. Once my husband and I started to have our first child, we decided that we wanted to move back. This was a really hard decision for us. It was both of our dreams to work for NASA, but we knew that raising a family in the Midwest, being close to family, and allowing our children to know their family was more important to us. So we moved back to Michigan. While in Michigan, I was a contractor for commercial aerospace and worked on some software and some testing, different places. Throughout the career, though, I've been heavily involved with many different volunteer activities. Something that I'm extremely passionate about is the younger generation, specifically females in STEM. Ultimately, I love helping them find out what their true passion is. Promoting innovation and teamwork and creativity is also something that is very, very important to me. So, about 5 years ago, my husband and I started throwing around the idea of starting our own engineering company in Grand Rapids. We were both in a place professionally where we were ready to make a change. We were trying to decide if we wanted to move to a different location, stay here, go to a different company, what we really wanted to do, what was best for us as a family. But we loved Grand Rapids. We love this area. It's a great sized city. It's not too large. It's not too small. Our daughters love it here. It's a perfect place to raise a family. The only thing was we love space. We love a lot of the innovative work that we had done at NASA before. So after working in the industry for 20 plus years at multiple different locations across different states, multiple different countries, we kind of knew what we wanted to make here in Grand Rapids. We were also in a really good place in our life. Our daughters weren't super young, so they were a little more independent, but they weren't in college yet either. So we felt that the time was right. If we weren't going to do it now, it never was going to happen. A lot of thought was put into the team that we wanted to form here. We really wanted to create a place that would encourage engineers to think outside of the box and to always challenge them to grow professionally and also personally. Many times throughout my career as an engineer, I didn't feel challenged, and I didn't feel like I was able to reach my fullest potential. I felt like I was put into a box, and I was just performing the same engineering task over and over again. My creativity and innovation was just getting sucked out of me. I wanted to be able to wake up each morning and be excited to get to work for the day and not dread it. But I also wanted to be able to give that to other people. We wanted to create a place where teamwork was a priority and was also encouraged. Collaboration within a team can help solve difficult problems. Teamwork provides a diversity of thought, increases creativity, opens people's perspectives, and can help find the solution that works best. Personally, I've seen teamwork be so important on a farm, and also teamwork be so important at NASA. When teamwork is not encouraged, though, this can create an environment where employees become focused on promoting their own achievements and competing against colleagues, which can ultimately lead to an unhealthy and inefficient working environment. We wanted to create a place where we gave back and helped our STEM community grow with the younger generation. Growing up in Northern Michigan, I did not have a lot of STEM role models to look up to. Fortunately, my parents took it upon them to help me find those role models so that I knew all the different options, different ways that I could be an engineer and work. I think it is our responsibility as professional adults to help the younger generation figure out what their passion is by exposing them to the many different career options that they have out there. I know that I would not be in the position that I am today if it wasn't for my past teachers, my past mentors, and ultimately my family. We wanted to create a place where emotional help and the full well-being of a person was just as important as the professional academic well-being. I know firsthand at times how hard it is to be a mom of young kids and having to decide, my daughter's homesick, should I go to work today because I only have 3 sick days that I can use up, or do I need to save those sick days because it's still January and I don't know what is going to happen for the rest of the year? Or I also know what it means to be a daughter of a seriously ill parent and having to decide whether I can go to the doctors with my mom or I have to attend this meeting because we have a milestone that has to get met. And I also know what it means just to be a person trying to maneuver the challenges that we face each day. I think it's super important for us to understand that each person has their own personal challenges that they're maneuvering, and as a person grows in life, their personal challenges change also. And it's important for us as leaders to be very respectful of this. Lastly, We really wanted to create a place where we could bring more high-tech, innovative jobs to West Michigan. Like I said before, I grew up in Michigan, and I love it here. But growing up in Michigan, I never imagined that I would be able to live here and perform the work that really I had a passion for. But fortunately, the world that we live in right now, even before COVID happened, even more so now after COVID, it's so easy to do this. A perfect example is we have formed a partnership with another company in California, and our team are working with them on different embedded software and embedded hardware that is used for JPL and for NASA. This never could have happened 20 years ago when we left NASA to begin with, and this really, really excites me. I'm so happy about this. So taking all of that into consideration, we took a very calculated risk, and we formed Array of Engineers on January 18th of 2018, and we haven't looked back since. Every year, we think of it kind of as a child, so every year we have a birthday celebration with our team because I feel that date is really important to all of us. But don't get me wrong, there has been some very stressful days. But we are so proud of what we've created thus far and how we are incorporating in and implementing our vision that we had before. One way that we're doing this is we created some core values that we sat down and thought about and wrote them down and always go back to these core values. And these are customer-focused partnerships, high-quality standards, the promotion of innovation and creativity, to help each employee reach their highest potential personally and professionally, and to give back to our community by promoting STEM in younger generations. We go back to these core values when we're making our business decision, and it really helps keep us grounded and keep our focus. We now have a team of around 25 engineers, which some of you have thousands of employees, but for us, 25 is a good stepping point so far. We work on projects on multiple different industries: aerospace, space, defense, medical device, high-tech industries. Our team is working on some really, really cool and exciting and innovative projects. I'm super proud about the work that we are doing. But I must say, what I'm even more proud of is how our team is supporting each other and how we're supporting our community. We have a core executive team of 5 of us who communicate regularly, and we help each other stay in check with our core values that I spoke about. Each one of us 5 bring a different perspective to the table, which makes us a dynamic team. We have one who's the visionary, one's the implementer, one's the practical one, one's a creative one, and then we have the mad scientist. We also have and encourage our senior engineers to hold lunch and learns to help teach our younger engineers or our co-op students or our interns about a different engineering topic. And you know what? We found that sometimes our junior engineers also hold these lunch and learns, and they teach us a really valuable lesson about a new process that they know about. We are constantly and continually having co-ops and interns who come to our office and work with our team to help figure out what they might want to do, what industry they might want to work in, or what area that they might want to be an engineer in. Doing this not only helps teach these students about where they feel the most passion for, but you know what it also does? It also helps teach them about the cool and innovative projects that we're doing here in West Michigan. And they don't have to, after they graduate, they don't have to move out to California or to Colorado or to Florida or to Texas. They can stay right here in West Michigan and work on some pretty cool projects. And as I must say, I think work for a pretty cool company. So the other thing that I'm super happy about and proud of is how Array of Engineers mentors and sponsors many different STEM-related events for the younger generation, such as FIRST Robotics, local coding camps, a tech-savvy event in Northern Michigan, a Women of Aerospace event, just to name a few. I personally get so much joy out of seeing our team working with and mentoring young students. Just for a little quick story. So we mentor a FIRST Robotics team. They're a middle school team. And before COVID happened, they used to come into our office after school 2 days a week and then on the weekends. And our engineers would help them design and build and code this robot that is about 18 inches, fits in an 18-inch box. So these are middle school students also, by the way. So if you haven't worked with middle school students before, or if you have, you know that it can be a little bit overwhelming. Also remember, we're engineers. So if you're a male engineer, it's even more so overwhelming. No offense if there's any of you out there. But many of our team members at AOV have really embraced this mentorship role and have learned that these middle school students, they're just like little sponges who just want to learn from them and grow from them and look at them as role models and ultimately be these people. So this is just a small example of pushing someone a little bit out of their comfort zone, but knowing that they're more than capable of doing this. So lastly, I just want to thank you all for listening to my personal leadership story today. And in ending, I would like to leave you all with the following takeaway. Invest in your team and invest in your community. And when I say invest, I don't necessarily only mean financially. Sometimes it's just as important to invest time into your team and into your community. Find time to be a mentor to a middle school student. Tutor them. Sponsor a club, whatever that club might be, robotics or whatever it is that you do. Mentor a high school student. Bring them into your office. Show them what you do. Show them the cool projects that you guys work on. I've heard of so many amazing, innovative work that's happening right here in West Michigan just today. Mentor a college student. If you don't have an internship program or a co-op program, start one at your company. Those students are so ready to learn and be a part of our community and really make an impact. Like I said before, that really helps them not only learn what they're going to be, but it also teaches them about the great work and great innovative projects that you have working at your own company. And so then when they graduate, they'll want to come back and work for you. And mentor someone at your own company. It's so important that we lean on each other and be there for each other and support each other. And then lastly, encourage your team to do the same. Thank you.